Hi, I'm Dr. Nidhi Khare. Students, the importance of business environment and the need to consider forces external to the organization were first incorporated in management thought during the late 1950s. And it was during the 60s that management came to recognize that organizations must actively consider their environment. The environment of an organization affects every aspect of its success and consequently every decision that managers make. Now, in the past, managers focused on their organization's economic and technical environment. But in recent years, however, changes in human attitudes, social values, political forces, and legal liabilities have forced managers to broaden the scope of the environmental forces they consider. So let's see what are these characteristics of the environment. First, interrelatedness of factors, complexity, volatility, and uncertainty. Now, I'll be taking each of these in detail in the next slides. Interrelatedness of factors. The environmental factors are interrelated, as a change in one of the environmental factor can cause tremendous change in others. For example, decrease in supplies of oil primarily due to change in the political structure of some OPEC countries, notably Iran, had a strong effect on the general economic conditions in the world. Higher prices for petroleum product caused a general increase in prices of almost all products. The environment of many organizations was also affected because unions demanded more pay to compensate the inflated prices, and some firms suffered a loss of consumers. Next important characteristic is the complexity of environment. This refers to the number of external environmental factors which the organization must respond, and also to the degree of variety within each factor. With respect to the number of environmental factors to which an organization must respond, an organization that is subject to much government regulation, frequent negotiations with unions, many competitors, and then an organization only concerned primarily with a few suppliers, a few competitors, and no unions, and allowed technological development. And an organization that uses many different technologies that are undergoing rapid development would also be considered more complex than one that does not. Next important characteristic is environmental volatility or rate of change. Volatility refers to the rate at which an organization's environment is changing. Environment volatility is often greater for some organizations than for others. For example, the rate of change in the technological and competitive environment is greater in the drug, chemical, and electronic industries than in the machinery, auto parts, and confectionery industries. Furthermore, environment volatility can be greater for some departments, subunits of an organization as compared to others. For example, the research and development department, because it must keep track of newly developed technological applications, which faces high volatility. And last of the characteristics is uncertainty. Environmental uncertainty is a function of the amount of information one has about a given factor and one's confidence in that information. If very little information is available or one has little confidence in its accuracy, then the environmental factor is more uncertain than in a situation where adequate information is available and there is good reason to consider it highly accurate. And the more uncertain the environment, the more difficult it is to make effective decision. So students, I hope the characteristics of business environment are clear to you. Now in the next lecture I'll be taking the sources of environmental uncertainty. Thank you.